The classroom door slammed shut behind me, echoing like a gunshot in the empty hall. But it was Jake's voice that hit harder. "Hey, teacher's pet. Think you're better than us." His laughter chased me down the corridor, a pack of wolves nipping at my heels. And in that moment, I wished the ground would swallow me whole. But as I turned the corner, clutching my books like armor, I never imagined that same bully would one day kneel before me, eyes pleading, begging for the help only I could give. My name is Alex Thompson, a junior at Evergreen University in Seattle, Washington. I've always been the quiet type, the one who sits in the front row, takes meticulous notes, and actually enjoys discussing quantum mechanics with Professor Harlan. It's not that I'm trying to suck up. I just love learning. But to guys like Jake Harlan, yes. The professor's nephew, star quarterback of the football team, and campus heartthrob that makes me a target. Jake's the kind of guy who struts through life with effortless charm, his broad shoulders filling doorways, his grin disarming even the sternest critics. At 21, he's all muscle and mischief, with sun-kissed skin from endless practices and a reputation for parties that last till dawn. Me, I'm 20, lanky with wire-rimmed glasses, more comfortable in the library than on the field, and being gay in a place where jocks rule. I keep that locked away tighter than my study notes. That fateful afternoon started like any other. Professor Harlan's physics lecture had just ended, and I'd stayed behind to clarify a point on wave-particle duality. Jake, lounging in the back with his buddies, rolled his eyes so hard I could hear it. "Suck up," he muttered loud enough for the room to chuckle. I ignored it, as always. But as I packed my bag, he sauntered over. "You know, Alex, if you spent less time kissing ass and more time living, maybe you'd have friends." His words stung, but I forced a smile. "Maybe if you spent more time studying, you wouldn't be failing." It slipped out before I could stop it. His face darkened, and for a second, I thought he'd swing. Instead, he laughed a cold, mocking sound. "Watch your back, pet." The next few weeks blurred into a routine of avoidance. I'd spot Jake in the quad, surrounded by admirers, his arm around some cheerleader, and I'd duck into the nearest building. But Evergreen isn't that big. Collisions were inevitable. One rainy evening in the student union, I was hunched over my laptop, sipping coffee, when he plopped down across from me uninvited. "What do you want, Jake?" I sighed, not looking up. He leaned in, his cologne mix of sandalwood and sweat invading my space. "Heard you're acing Harlan's class. Congrats." Sarcasm dripped from every word. I met his gaze, those piercing blue eyes locking onto mine. "Thanks. Now leave me alone." But he didn't. Instead, he pulled out a crumpled paper as midterm, marked with a big red F. "I need help," he grumbled, vulnerability cracking his tough exterior for the first time. I stared at the paper, then at him. Jake Harlan, the invincible quarterback, failing physics. It was almost laughable. "Why me? Ask your uncle." He shook his head, running a hand through his messy brown hair. "Can't. Family stuff. He'd kill me if he knew." There was a story there, buried deep, but I wasn't prying. "Not yet." "Fine," I said, surprising myself. "Library. Tomorrow. 7 p.m. Don't be late." As he walked away, I wondered what the hell I'd gotten into. Little did I know, this was the spark that would ignite something neither of us expected. Our first study session was a disaster. Jake showed up 10 minutes late, reeking of gym sweat, and plopped his backpack down with a thud. "Let's get this over with," he muttered. I tried explaining Newton's laws, but he kept zoning out, doodling football plays on his notebook. "Focus, Jake. This isn't rocket science, wait. Actually, it kind of is." He smirked. That infuriating grin. You're cute when you're bossy. The word hung in the air. My cheeks flushing. Was he flirting? No. Couldn't be. Jake was straight as an arrow. Or so the rumors said. But as the hours ticked by, cracks appeared in his facade. He opened up about the pressure scholarship on the line. Parents expecting NFL glory. Uncle Harlan's shadow looming large. Everyone thinks I've got it all. He confessed. Voice low. But I'm drowning. Man. By the third session, things shifted. We moved to my dorm for privacy. Away from prying eyes. Rain pattered against the window as I quizzed him on momentum. He got one right. And his face lit up like a kid at Christmas. Yes. Thanks to you. Teacher's pet. But this time, the nickname lacked bite. It was almost affectionate. Our knees brushed under the desk, sending a jolt through me. I pulled away. But he didn't. Alex, he said softly. Why do you put up with my crap? I hesitated. Because I see more in you than the jerk act. Our eyes met. And for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to just us. Then he cleared his throat, breaking the spell. Yeah. Let's keep going. As midterms approached, our sessions intensified. Jake improved, but so did the tension between us. One night, after a grueling practice, he showed up exhausted, collapsing on my bed. Mind if I crash here? Roommates throwing a rager. I nodded, heart pounding. We talked till dawn about dreams, fears, the masks we wear. He admitted his bravado hid insecurities. I shared my loneliness, the fear of coming out in a macho world. You're brave. Alex, he whispered. Braver than me. His hand found mine in the dark, fingers intertwining. It was innocent, yet electric. Was this real? Or just gratitude? The turning point came during a campus party. I'd avoided them like the plague. But Jake dragged me along. Live a little. He insisted. Beer flowed. Music thumped. And amid the chaos, we found a quiet corner. Thanks for everything, he said, his breath warm on my ear. Then, impulsively, he leaned in. Our lips met soft, tentative, then hungry. Fireworks exploded in my chest. But as we pulled apart, panic flashed in his eyes. I don't know what that was. He bolted, leaving me stunned. The next day, radio silence. I texted. Colled no response. Hurt turned to anger. Had I misread everything? In class, he avoided my gaze, sitting in the back like old times. Professor Harlan noticed, pulling me aside. Trouble with my nephew. I shrugged it off. But inside, I ached. Finally, confrontation in the locker room after practice. What the hell? Jake. He looked wrecked. Towel around his waist. Muscles glistening. I'm confused. Okay. I've never. With a guy? His voice cracked. But with you. It feels right. Tears welled as he admitted his feelings. The internal battle raging since our kiss. Reconciliation was slow. Sweet. We really talked about identity. Society. The fear of judgment. Jake came out to me fully, admitting attractions he'd buried deep. Our study sessions turned romantic, stolen kisses between equations. Hands lingering on pages. But secrets have a way of surfacing. Rumors spread whispers of the quarterback and the nerd. His teammates confronted him. Slurs flying. Fag. Is that you now? Jake stood tall. Yeah. Maybe it is. And if you can't handle it, that's on you. The climax hit during the big game. Jake's performance tanked. Mind elsewhere. Post-loss. His father, a stern ex-military man, showed up, berating him. You're throwing it all away for what? Some phase. I overheard. Stepping in. It's not a phase, sir. It's who he is. Jake defended me. Us. Coming out to his dad in a raw, emotional outburst. Tears. Shouts. Then silence. His father left. But not before a grudging think about it. In the aftermath, we leaned on each other. Jake aced his finals. Thanks to our study time. Graduation loomed. Future's uncertain. But one starry night on the quad, he got down on one knee, not proposing, but promising. Alex, you taught me more than physics. You taught me to love myself. We embraced. The world fading. Years later, we're together, advocating for LGBTQ plus youth, turning pain into purpose. Love isn't easy, but it's worth every equation. The classroom door slammed shut behind me, echoing like a gunshot in the empty hall. But it was Jake's voice that hit harder. Hey, teacher's pet. Think you're better than us. His laughter chased me down the corridor, a pack of wolves nipping at my heels. And in that moment, I wished the ground would swallow me whole. But as I turned the corner, clutching my books like armor, I never imagined that same bully would one day kneel before me, eyes pleading, begging for the help only I could give. My name is Alex Thompson, and I'm a junior at Evergreen University in Seattle, Washington. The Pacific Northwest's misty rains and towering evergreens provide a backdrop that's both beautiful and brooding, much like my life on campus. I've always been the studious type, the one who arrives early to lectures, notebook in hand, ready to absorb every word from Professor Harlan's physics class. It's not about being a suck-up. It's about passion. Physics makes sense in a world that often doesn't. Equations don't judge. They just are. But to someone like Jake Harlan, the professor's nephew and the star quarterback, my dedication is a punchline. Jake is 21, built like a Greek god with broad shoulders, chiseled jaw, and eyes the color of a stormy sea. His brown hair is always perfectly tousled, as if he just rolled out of bed looking like a model. He's the guy every girl wants, and every guy wants to be. Me. I'm 20, with messy blonde hair that I try to tame with gel, glasses that slide down my nose, and a frame that's more wiry than athletic. I blend into the background, which is fine by me, especially since I've known I was gay since high school. Coming out in a small town was rough. College was supposed to be my fresh start. But old habits die hardy, keep my head down and my secrets close. That particular day, after class, I lingered to ask Professor Harlan about a nuance in relativity theory. Jake, slouched in the back with his football buddies, snorted loudly. Brown noser, he whispered. But it carried. The professor shot him a look, but Jake just grinned. As I left, he followed, cornering me in the hall. You know, Alex, if you weren't always up Harlan's ass, maybe you'd have a life. His words were sharp, laced with that cocky confidence. I swallowed hard. Maybe if you studied instead of partying, you wouldn't be on academic probation. It was a low blow-eyed overheard rumors, but his face flushed red. You little. He stepped closer, towering over me. For a second, I thought he'd hit me. Instead, he laughed. Stay out of my way, pet. I spent the evening in my dorm, replaying the encounter. My roommate, a laid-back art major named Sam, noticed my mood. Jake again? He asked, munching on pizza. I nodded. He's an ass. Sam chuckled. He's hot, though. Too bad he's straight. I blushed, burying myself in homework. But sleep was elusive. Jake's face haunted minute just the anger, but the flicker of something else. Insecurity. No, couldn't be. The next week, things escalated. In the cafeteria, Jake accidentally bumped my tray, sending my lunch flying. Oops. he said with a wink. Laughter erupted from his table. I cleaned up in silence. Heart racing. Why me? Was it because I was an easy target? Or something more? That night, I vented to my journal, words pouring out about the injustice, the attraction I couldn't admit even to myself. Jake was everything I wasn't: bold, popular, untouchable. Then came the twist. After a particularly tough lecture on thermodynamics, Professor Harlan announced extra credit opportunities. I signed up immediately. Jake, surprisingly, stayed back too. But instead of mocking, he looked desperate. Uncle, can I talk to you? The professor sighed. Jake, your grades are slipping. You need help. Jake glanced at me. Maybe Alex could tutor me. The words hung heavy. Professor Harlan raised an eyebrow. If he's willing. All eyes on me. What could I say? Sure. Our first session was set for the library. I arrived early. Books spread out. Jake showed up late. Helmet under arm. Fresh from practice. Let's make this quick, he said, slumping down. I started with basics. But he fidgeted, checking his phone. Pay attention. I snapped. He smirked. Or what? Pet. The nickname irked me. Call me Alex. Or find another tutor. He held up his hands. Fine. Alex. Teach me. As we delved in, I saw glimpses of the real Jake. He wasn't dumb. He was distracted. Football's my ticket out, he admitted. But this stuff, it's Greek to me. I explained patiently. And when he grasped the concept, his smile was genuine. You're good at this, he said. Compliment. From Jake. My heart skipped. By the end, the library was closing. Same time tomorrow, I asked. He nodded. Thanks, man. As he left, I watched him go, confused by the warmth in my chest. This was just tutoring, right? The following sessions built a rhythm. We'd meet in the quiet corner of the library, surrounded by stacks of books that smelled of old paper and forgotten stories. Seattle's rain drummed on the windows, a constant companion to our studies. Jake improved slowly, but the real change was in our dynamic. The mockery faded, replaced by banter. You're not as annoying as I thought, he joked one evening, after nailing a problem on kinetic energy. I laughed. High praise. But inside, I was reeling. Being close to Jake was intoxicating. His laugh, the way his eyes crinkled when he concentrated, the accidental brushes of our hands. I reminded myself he was straight. But doubts crept in. He'd mention dates with girls casually, but his eyes would wander to me. One night, storm raging outside. We stayed late. The librarian kicked us out, so we dashed to my dorm. Soaked. You can dry off here, I offered. He peeled off his wet shirt, revealing a torso sculpted from hours on the field. I averted my eyes, but not before my pulse quickened. Thanks, he said, borrowing a towel. We continued studying on my bed, papers scattered. As midnight approached, he yawned. Mind if I crash? My place is across campus. I hesitated. Sure. Lying there, inches apart, sleep evaded me. Jake's breathing was steady, but then he spoke. Alex, you awake? Yeah. Why are you so nice to me? After how I treated you. I turned to face him in the dark. Because everyone deserves a chance. Silence. Then his hand found mine. You're different. The touch lingered, sending sparks. Was this happening? Morning brought awkwardness. He bolted early, muttering about practice. I wondered if I'd imagined it. But at our next session, he was distant. Everything okay? I asked. He sighed. Family crap. Dad's pushing for pro scouts. But my grades. I placed a hand on his shoulder. You'll make it. He looked at me. Really looked. With you. Maybe. As weeks passed, our bond deepened. We'd grab coffee between classes. Share stories. Jake opened up about his uncle Professor Harlan was more father than his own dad, who was absent most of his childhood. He expects perfection. Jake said. I shared my own struggles growing up gay in conservative Idaho. The bullying that made me retreat into books. That's rough, he said softly. You're strong for getting through it. One evening, after a successful quiz, Jake suggested celebrating. Burger joint off campus. We went, laughing over fries. Under the neon lights. He leaned in. Alex, I appreciate you. Our knees touched under the table. Back at the dorm. Tension built. He hugged me goodbye, holding longer than necessary. See you tomorrow, he whispered. But tomorrow brought trouble. In class, Jake's phone buzzed incessantly. He stepped out, returning pale. Girlfriend drama. He explained later. Girlfriend. My heart sank. Of course. You okay? I asked. He nodded. But the spark dimmed. The girlfriend revelation hit hard. Her name was Emily. A sorority girl with perfect hair and a possessive streak. Jake mentioned her offhand, but it explained the mixed signals. I buried my feelings, focusing on tutoring. But Jake noticed my withdrawal. What's up with you? He asked during a session. Nothing. I lied. He pressed. Come on. Alex. We're friends. Right. Friends. The word stung. To distract, I suggested a study break, a walk around Lake Union. Seattle's skyline glittered. Boats bobbing. Beautiful. Jake said. Like you. I froze. What? He blushed. I mean, the view. But his eyes said otherwise. We sat on a bench, talking dreams. I want to teach physics. I confessed. Change lives. He smiled. You already are. Back at the dorm. He lingered. Emily and I. It's not serious. Hope flickered. Why tell me? He stepped closer. Because. I think about you. A lot. My breath caught. Jake. Are you? He kissed me, then gentle at first. Then passionate. The world spun. His hands on my waist. Mine in his hair. When we broke apart, he looked terrified. I don't know what this means. We talked all night. Jake admitted confusion attraction to guys he'd ignored, buried under societal expectations. Football guys don't. You know. I held him. It's okay to explore. Tears fell. What if I'm gay? Then you're you. And that's enough. Our relationship shifted. Study sessions included stolen moments, kisses, cuddles. But secrecy weighed heavy. Jake feared his team finding out. They'd disown me. I understood. But it hurt hiding. One day, Emily confronted him in the quad. Who's Alex? You're always with him. Jake downplayed. Just tutoring. She stormed off. Later, he came to me upset. Broke up with her. I comforted him. Our embrace turning intimate. For the first time, we made love slow, exploratory, full of emotion. After, lying tangled, he whispered, I love you, Alex. Love. The word hung between us, heavy with promise. Jake said it first, but I felt it too. Our days blended classes, practice, stolen nights. Seattle's spring brought blooms, mirroring our romance. We'd picnic in Discovery Park, hands linked under tables. But cracks appeared. Jake's teammates noticed his distraction. "Dude, you're off your game," his buddy Mike said. Jake brushed it off. But pressure mounted. At home, his dad called constantly. "Scouts are watching. Don't screw up." I encouraged him. "You can have both football and us." But doubt crept in. One night, after a loss, he snapped. "This is too hard." We argued. Words sharp. "Are you ashamed of me?" I asked. He denied. But the seed was planted. Reconciliation came with apologies. "Make up sex passionate." "I can't lose you," he said. We planned a weekend getaway to the Olympics, hiking, camping, under stars. He opened up more. "I think I'm bi. Or gay. Doesn't matter with you. It's right." Back on campus, rumors swirled. A teammate saw us holding hands. "Harlan's queer." Whispers turned to confrontations. In the locker room, slurs flew. Jake stood firm. "Back off." But it shook him. Professor Harlan sensed something. "You two seem close," he said after class. Jake panicked. "Just friends." The professor nodded. But his eyes knew. The storm broke during midterms. Jake aced physics. But football suffered. His coach benched him. "Get your head straight." Depressed, he leaned on me. But then, his dad visited unannounced. "What's going on, son?" Jake froze. I was there. In the dorm. "Who's this?" His dad barked. "Alex. My tutor." But the air crackled. Later, alone, his dad grilled him. "Rumors say you're with that kid." Jake denied at first, then exploded. "Yes. I'm gay. Dad. Or bi? I love him." His dad recoiled. "This is a phase. Football first." He left angry. Jake crumbled. "He hates me." I held him. "Give him time." But the pain lingered. Campus became hostile notes on our doors. Stairs. We fought back, attending LGBTQ+ meetings. Jake came out to friends. Some supportive, others not. A turning point, Jake's team lost without him. Coach reinstated. But teammates divided. Mike apologized. "If it makes you happy." Man. Summer approached. Tensions high. Jake's dad cut funding. Shape up or ship out. Jake worked odd jobs. We supported each other. Our love deepened, romantic dates. Deep conversations. But a betrayal, Emily, bitter, outed us on social media. Quarterback's secret boyfriend. Chaos ensued. Media picked up local news on LGBTQ+ in sports. Jake faced interviews. Standing proud. Love is love. Family reconciliation, his dad called. Saw the news. "Proud you're honest." Tears flowed. Uncle Harlan supported too. Family sticks together. The big game, championship. Jake played brilliantly. Team won. In victory, he kissed me publicly. Cheers mixed with booze. But acceptance grew. Graduation, we walked stage. Hands linked. Futures, Jake pro tryouts. Me grad school. But together. Years later. Married. Advocating. Jake coaches. I'm professor. Our story inspires from rivals to lovers. Teaching self-acceptance. Love triumphs. Humanity shines.